Okay, 11.5 is surface area. We're going to finish up surface area for this chapter, pyramids and cones. Again, this formula sheet I'll attach. It's also attached on Monday's post. We're going to do the pyramids and the cone. So everything with a point. And we're going to cover the area for that. So the first one we're going to do is the square pyramid. And we've got a square pyramid, or square base. So we have to find the area of that, which is your length times width, or side squared. And then because you have a square, that means all of the triangles are equal too, because they all have the same base. And then the lateral height will be this flat height right here that's along, that's perpendicular, I should say, to the base here. And so it would be laying like this. So it's kind of, sometimes they'll call it a slant height, because see how it's slanting. All right, so they have that you have to find the base first, that's side squared. That can also be the same as the length and the width, just in case it's a rectangle. But I think all the ones you're gonna do right now are gonna all have square bases. So that's gonna cover the bottom, and then you have 4 triangles, right? Because here's your base, and then you have, if you opened it up, you have 4 triangles, and those 4 triangles would be identical, right? Here's your bases. Every one of these bases is 3, and then this slant height is 4.5. So you don't have to write that 4 times. You just have to find one triangle and multiply it by 4. And so this is the formula you're going to use for the square pyramid. This one here is the cone. I don't have any cool way of showing you that like I did with the cylinder. You're just going to have to trust me on this part. The circle part of this would be pi r squared. We already know how to find the area of a circle. Now the lateral surface area is what they call the slanted parts of the pointed 3D shapes. So your pyramids and your cones, they call that a lateral surface. Sometimes you only have to find the lateral surface, so you need to know which parts are which. So this goes with the circle. The lateral surface would be the actual cone parts. So like if you were finding just the ice cream cone surface area, you would only want pi r L. And L is this number right here. They call it the lateral height, or sometimes a slant height. And then of course, you know what the radius is. The radius is halfway across the circle. So use that other surface area sheet. Make sure you know what your formulas are so that you are having no problem filling in numbers. That's all it is just making sure you know which dimensions go in for which letters. And then you go ahead and type it in your calculator. All right, so remember, we have to find the area of the base. So that's my length and my width, or my side squared. It doesn't matter. You can write it twice. Plus I have to add 4 triangles. That's a plus in between there. Each triangle is 22 by 15. 22 by 15 divided by 2. That's each triangle. And there are 4 of them. You could put the times 4 at the beginning. I just didn't leave room. So we type it all in, 22 times 22 plus 4 times 22 times 5. A shortcut on the, or divided by 15, sorry, 22 times 15 divided by 2. A shortcut here is if you cancel that out and make that a 2, then you're just doing 22 times 22 plus 22 times 15 times 2. That works also. So I get 1144, and that's feet squared. Area is always squared. My formula here, remember, I've got it right here. Pi r L plus pi r squared. So surface area here is pi, use 3.14, times r, which happens to be 0.22, times L, which happens to be this right here, 2.3, plus, I'm going to come down here, pi r squared, so 3.14 times 0.22 squared. So probably the toughest part of one like this with all the decimals is making sure you're careful and you type it in correctly. I usually like to type stuff like that in twice just to make sure that I did it correct. Okay, so that's one of those. And the last one that you're going to see is like this. This is a triangular one. And none of the ones that you're going to do will you have to find the triangular base. They're already going to give you that here. So this right here, circle this right here, that's the area of the base. They've already done that for you, okay? So for one like this, you're going to have, let's write that out. If you have a triangle, you're going to have the area of the base, and then these are all going to have equilateral triangles. So you see how all the sides are 6 all the way around. So now you have 3 triangular bases that you have to find the area of. Okay, so you're going to use this when you have the triangular base with equilateral. All right. So if you want to add that on there, you can also here's mine's a little different here because I actually have you showing, or I show it that you have to find the area of the bottom and then the 3 triangles. But all the ones on your worksheet are going to already have the area. But if it didn't, you'd have to find the area of the bottom triangle first and then the 3 side triangles. Okay. So this one already has the bottom. So we got surface area is 15.6 plus 3 times. Now the base and height of the triangle here is 6 and 7.8 divided by 2. So we'll type all of that into my calculator and I will get 85.8 millimeters squared. Okay, so I did one of each type. Again, it's just a matter of making sure that you know which dimensions go in for which letters. So you really have to pay attention to what these formulas are and put the numbers in. It's not super difficult. You just have to be super careful. So, you know, do some on the worksheet. If you want to do one and then watch what I do, you can do it that way and go back and forth and do 1 or 2 of each type to make sure you're getting them right before you would move on to the Google Forms.